Astrology isn't just about signs and symbols. It's a tool for navigating real life. Hello, and welcome to Astrology with Alisa. I'm your host, Alisa Dixon, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in. For a long time, Pluto kind of scared me. The planet of death, decay, and transformation? No thanks, I'll pass on that one. But here's what I've learned. First, we don't get a pass on Pluto. Ready or not, Pluto will come when it's the right time. Second, Pluto isn't just about literal death. It's about the death of what no longer serves you, to make room for something new to be born. Let me tell you how I learned that lesson. When I was a freshman in college, there was a girl on my floor in my dorm who could read palms. One night, she offered readings for everyone. It was lighthearted, just for fun. When it was my turn, I was excited to see what she said. She studied my hand and she said, "You're going to meet the man of your dreams at 23. You're going to have a whirlwind romance and be married within a year." At 18 years old, that sounded magical. And honestly, it gave me permission to relax. Dating felt easier, no pressure. Every time something didn't work out, I'd smile and think to myself, well, he's not my Mr. 23, so it's fine. I stayed lighthearted, curious, open, and I carried that little prophecy with me for years. It was always on my mind. So, when I turned 23, I was excited. This was it, the big year. It was time. Every new guy I met, I thought, would this be the one? But months went by and nothing happened. After 6 months, my Capricorn moon took over. Be realistic, Alisa. This was just a fun college night. The likelihood of this actually happening is probably pretty slim. Then, 2 months before my 24th birthday, in January, I met someone completely unexpected. He lived in Ohio. I lived in Connecticut. He was 18 years older than I was. He had 4 kids, 2 ex-wives. We met through work. He was a senior executive visiting from the Midwest, and I was Little Miss Entry Level, holding things down in the home office. It was not the story I expected, but it was the one that changed the course of my life. By February, we were dating. By my 24th birthday in March, we were serious. And before long, I packed up everything I knew and moved across the country to be with him. That man, of course, was Kevin. Years later, during one of my first astrology readings, the astrologer looked up at me and asked, "So, what happened when you were 23? I froze. How could she possibly know? She smiled and said, "Because your Pluto is at 23 degrees of Libra, right on your midheaven. Libra rules relationships. The midheaven rules your public life, your direction in the world. And sitting opposite that point is your 4th house, your roots, your home, your family. And sometimes a planet in your chart activates when you're the same age as its degree." I met Kevin through work, 10th house, the midheaven. I moved away from my family, 4th house. My life completely transformed. Everything changed. My home, my job, my identity, my sense of belonging. That's Pluto. Slow, powerful, irreversible. And when Pluto touches your chart, it changes the very fabric of who you are. And this week, as Pluto stations in the sky, I've been thinking a lot about that transformation and about how Pluto works in all of our lives. This week, Pluto is stationing, meaning it's slowed down in the sky to the point of stopping, on the same degree and minute as it changes from retrograde to direct motion. And while the official day of stationing was Monday the 13th, Pluto stays on the same degree and minute for 10 days this month, from October 9th to the 19th, which means during this time, Pluto is especially strong in the sky. If things have felt a little heavier, more emotional, or even just more intense than usual, That's Pluto energy moving through all of us. When Pluto is standing still in the sky, its energy feels magnified. You might find yourself pulled into deep conversations, feeling things you've kept buried, reflecting on topics you usually avoid. Pluto asks us to look underneath the surface. It brings up what's been hidden. It stirs what's unconscious, not to hurt us, but to help us see what's ready to be transformed. So even if Pluto isn't touching a personal point in your chart right now, you'll still feel it. It's collective, subtle, but powerful. So let me tell you a little bit about what Pluto represents in astrology and how to recognize its energy in your own chart. Pluto is the planet of power and transformation. It's often misunderstood, sometimes even feared, because it rules the unseen. In astrology, Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio, and it's connected to the 8th house, the house of death, rebirth, shared resources, and deep emotional truth. It's the part of life where things fall away so something new can emerge. Think about Scorpio season, that late fall moment when leaves fall off the trees, the air grows colder, and nature begins its descent into stillness. It looks like everything is dying, but in truth, it's all transforming. That's Pluto. Not about endings just for the sake of loss, but endings that lead to rebirth. Now, Pluto won't turn your life upside down every time it stations just because it's strong in the sky. That deeper transformation happens when Pluto makes contact with your chart directly, when it touches a personal planet like your sun or your moon, or a sensitive point like your ascendant, descendant, midheaven, or IC. Whenever that happens, you know it and you feel it at your core. And it can take 2 to 3 years to move on from that personal point. Pluto moves slowly, only about 2 degrees a year, and its influence is deep, lasting, and total. The transformation becomes undeniable when you come out on the other side and realize you're not the same person anymore. Some of those changes will be visible, obvious to others. A job ending, a move, a relationship beginning or ending. But the most profound changes are internal. Pluto reshapes you from the inside out. It changes how you relate to power, control, and truth. It changes how you see yourself. Pluto's transformations are rarely comfortable. They can feel like loss, like being stripped down to nothing. But that's how rebirth begins. It takes away what needs to go so your soul can emerge more authentic, more whole. Sometimes that process is visible to others. Sometimes it's purely internal. Either way, it's sacred work. Even if Pluto isn't directly touching your chart right now, you still have your own Pluto story because you were born with your natal Pluto in a specific sign and house of your chart. Pluto spends many, many years in each zodiac sign, decades even. And everyone born with the same Pluto sign shares a generational theme, a collective transformation they're here to experience together. Your Pluto sign shows what your generation is here to evolve together. It's generational, yes, but it's also deeply personal. Your Pluto house, the part of your chart where Pluto lives, that shows where you are being transformed personally. That's the area of life where you will experience deep change, power struggles, and eventually rebirth. This week, as Pluto stood still in the sky, I found myself going deep into reflection, thinking about how much Pluto has reshaped my life for the better, especially through family, because my natal Pluto sits in direct opposition to my IC, also known as the 4th house cusp, which is the root of my chart, the foundation of my family. And this week, this very week that Pluto stations, my family is going through another transformation. My brother is getting married on Friday. And here's the wild part. On Thursday, the night before, when we're doing the rehearsal and the rehearsal dinner celebration, the sun will be at 23 degrees of Libra that very night, shining its light directly on my natal Pluto at 23 degrees of Libra. Another chapter, another transformation in my family story, a continuation of something I once thought was complete. Because that's Pluto too. The evolution never really ends. It just keeps inviting us deeper. So I want to leave you with this. Pay attention to what's been on your mind this week and in the days to come as Pluto completes its station. What are you noticing? What themes keep resurfacing? What feels like it's shifting underneath the surface? Pluto is always speaking, but it whispers. You have to listen closely. Notice what you're feeling drawn to release, what's no longer aligned with your truth. You don't have to control the process. You just have to stay curious. Transformation isn't something you force. It's something you allow. Pluto is never just about endings. It's about invitations to grow. If you're feeling something deep stirring right now, if you're standing at the edge of change, trust it. Pluto is doing what Pluto always does, helping your soul become more of who it's meant to be. And if you'd like to explore how Pluto is moving through your own chart and what part of your life is being transformed, or how long you have to live in the discomfort of change, please visit my website at www.astrologywithalisa.com, and you can book a reading with me. Because when you understand Pluto's work in your life, you stop fearing the endings and start honoring the rebirth that follows. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. Follow the show and leave me a review. It really does help more people find the show. Let's keep growing our Astrology with Alisa family. As always, I love and appreciate you all. Take care, and I'll see you next time.